Okay, Mrs. Blankenbeckler is back with concept 2 out of 802. You've got to find the equation of the quadratic given a vertex and a point. Okay, so here is our parabola. What do we already know? We already know the vertex, we already know a point, and we can already see from the graph it's facing up. So we know A is positive. A is positive. That's right. Okay, so how am I going to write the equation of the quadratic? Let's go back to the original skeleton function. Since I have the vertex, I'm going to do this from vertex form, which is A, x minus h quantity squared plus k. Okay, from here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 variables, don't I? I have 4 variables. I can plug in my h and my k because I know the vertex. H is actually 5 variables because this is the same thing as a y, right? Function notation, that's just a y. So let's go ahead and replace that function notation with y before we start. Sorry about that. It's going to be easier to plug and chug in a second. Okay, I'm going to plug in my h and my k. So I'm going to plug in h and my k, and so I'm going to get a x minus 5 squared plus 1 equals y. Okay, I don't know a, but I do know x and a y, don't I? Here's an x and here's a y. It's just one of the points on the graph. Do I have to use 7, 3? No. I could use any point on the whole parabola to plug in, but that's the one I have. So I'm going to plug in x is 7 and y is 3. So now I'm down to one variable. Now I can solve for it, right? Okay, so let's start order of operations. 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Okay, so there's step 1. Step 2, I'm going to solve this by subtracting 1 from both sides. So I now have 2 equals, and I'm going to put this 4 as a coefficient in front, 4a. And then to get the a by itself, I just divide by 4. Divide by 4, divide by 4, and I get 1/2. So that's not so bad, is it? So what did I do? I identified the vertex. I have a point. I write my skeleton formula. I plug in h and k, right? H, k. I plug this x and y in. X, y. Then I'm down to one variable. Solve for that variable. Now, I'm not really finished because now I have to write the equation of the line. To write the equation, I'm sorry, not a line, a quadratic. To write the equation of the quadratic, I've got to plug in my a, my h, and my k. So let's plug them in. My function is positive 1/2 times, I'm going to leave my x in there because x and y change based on where you are in the graph, minus h, which is 5, quantity squared because it's a quadratic, plus 1. And voila! I have the equation of that graph right now. And you're done. So, that took me less than 4 minutes. Man, that was a speedy one. Okay, so finding the equation of the line, given a vertex and a point, go through it one more time top to bottom. Write your skeleton. Plug in your h and k. Plug in any x and y that's on the graph. In this case, I plugged in 7, 3. From here, you just solve for a. After you solve for a, you plug in a, h, and k. A, h, and k, and there is your answer. And in the last video, I told you to go to page 8. Well, this one is really page 8. This, on page 8 and lesson 802, there's another example to go through if you're struggling at all with how to do this. Another example. If not, ask me in CC.